What's going on, people? Happy Thursday to you. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Pro Fan Talk. My name is Marcus Thomas. Thank you for joining me as usual. Got a great show lined up for you tonight. As usual, the NFL is the gift that keeps on giving. And we are in the thick of it right now in a very hot, contested playoff run, divisional round, going up against a division rival, which is always good. Looking back, preseason, nobody, and I mean nobody, would have thought that there would be three teams from the NFC East in the playoffs. But that's why you play the game, man. That's why you play the game. You never know what's going to happen. And you never know which team is going to get hot, which team is I always say everybody is one play away. Everybody is one play away from ruin or glory. So one person makes the right play, one person gets hurt. You never know what's going to happen. That's why you play the game. What's going on to my people? Sean Young is always first out the limo. What's good, brother? Sean, are you going down to the game this week? They need you down there, man. TK, my family, what's going on, TK? Vince, I see you in there. Vince, I hope the wifey's watching, man. Got a special guest for today. And who was that? Joe. I don't even know if I want to try to say this. Joe, we'll just call you Joe M. And I got you, man. We got to show up big time, man. We need one more person out the limo. Alan D. Benson, my frat. What's going on? 06 to you, brother. Thank you for joining me, man. And that is number 5 out the limo. And as you know, the first ones out the limo are brought to you by Fan Up. Fan Up is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NFL contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Use promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points of $50 value. FanUp.app. Let's do it for all you guys that like to get into betting and all of that kind of stuff. But what's going on? I got a special guest going back to the roots, going back to where it started, the foundation, back to the cabin on the hill. For those of you who know, I'm bringing on a special guest. His name is Myron Guyton. Myron played for the New York Giants, won the Super Bowl XXV. He is an EKU alum, a friend of mine, a teammate. He was one of my captains. I believe, Myron, you were a senior, my true freshman year, I believe.
That's correct.
So, yeah, I still got a little bit of memory left, man. So how you been, brother? How you been?
Man, I am doing well. Been blessed, man. Back in South Georgia, relaxing, playing a little golf here and there. And this time of year, man, you got to be excited. It's playoff time, and I got something I can talk about this year, man. My Giants are in the playoffs, so
yes, sir.
exciting.
Nobody thought it was coming, man. The Giants were predicted to be in last place in preseason. Nobody thought Jalen Hurts was going to do what he did. He just did a complete 180. And I was on board with Jalen Hurts, but I didn't expect this. I just wanted him to be good. He went to a whole nother level.
Now, see, I'm from the other thing now. I'm from where this kid played college ball at originally, Alabama. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm right next door. And, man, I felt like that he was a key player back then. I didn't like the way he was treated with Alabama. He left with Oklahoma. But all the kid did was win,
Exactly.
And I'm not a diehard Eagle fan by a long shot. But, man, I tell you what, how can you not root for this kid? I mean, this kid here, he's a winner. He went there. He put on the team on his back. He took all the negative that the press had to give to him. And Philadelphia is not an easy place to play.
Nah.
But this guy, man, I'm telling you, my hat's off to him, and I'm so proud of him.
Yeah, man. One of the things I kept saying, because there was it was very, very divisive in the city about what they were going to do with Jalen Hurts. They didn't know if they wanted to keep him or try to ship him out or try to get somebody else in the draft. And my thing was, how are you going to evaluate a kid who's never had the same offensive coordinator or offensive scheme for more than the season? Then we had somebody, Steichen was sticking around, so the offense was sticking around. And I was like, finally, this kid is going to come back for a season and already had the answers to the test. He doesn't have to learn a new system. And that's the other thing, man. I'm like, maybe fans take it for granted, but I'm like, Y'all don't understand how difficult it is to learn an offense, let alone a pro offense. And then you get
especially as a quarterback, man. As a quarterback,
you got to know everybody's spot, everybody's position, what they're doing against the blitz, what they're doing against this look, all of that kind of stuff, man. And he did it. And then when he came back this year, I was like, all he needs to do is just throw the ball, hit the receivers, in time, and not make any mistakes, man. And he just went above and beyond, man. So I'm like, that's what you get when you develop a quarterback. That's what you get, because they don't like this era of football, man. They don't want these kids to take their lumps.
Yeah, but also, Marcus, this kid put the time in. You can tell from last season to this season. I mean, he's working on his passing game. I mean, he's sitting in the pocket now, and he'll pick you apart. And you can tell he knows where everybody's going to be. He knows where his back's going to be. He knows where his checks down are. I mean, like I said, I love watching him play. And then he also bring that extra step of being able to run the ball.
You're right.
Most quarterbacks that run the ball, they're not that good a passer. But this guy here, I mean, he does it both. I mean, and I love him. He stays really calm in the pocket. You never see him panic. But he was just like that at Alabama. He was just like that at Oklahoma. Yeah. So it shocked me when I started hearing people making these comments about, well, we don't know if he's an NFL quarterback. We don't know if he's man. This guy, all he did was win. You said, he's never been in a system long enough really to learn everything about it. But the system that he's always been in, he's always thrived. So
he's always thrived at. But you can go into the colorism and the favoritism in the league, especially when you're dealing with black quarterbacks and things of that nature. You can, everything you said, any question marks anybody would have ever had about Jalen Hurts coming out of college, they should have had the same question marks about somebody like Baker Mayfield or something like that for the same reasons, but they don't get that type of criticism. So it seems like Jalen Hurts, he just had more to overcome. And when they finally gave him an opportunity, put some pieces around him, I think my thing was, if you are a young quarterback, I was like, after this season is over with, you need to have Jalen Hurts on speed dial. I'm like, yo, what did you do in the offseason? I need to know what you did, because his turnaround, specifically with throwing ball, we knew he could run the ball, but the way he started throwing the ball, reading the defenses, getting rid of the ball on time and anticipation, he did a complete 180, and he blew everybody out of the water. So it's like, if you complaining about Jalen Hurts now, you nitpick.
Yeah. And Marcus, in order to play at the NFL level, everybody can run, everybody can hit, everybody can jump, everybody's strong. What separates the great guys from just the average guys is the ones that can think. And he's a thinker. I mean, this guy here, he can think, he can make good decisions, not just making a decision, but making good decisions. And, and I used to look at him and look at Dak for the Cowboys. And I said, he has everything that he has. I mean, if you guys feel like this guy here could be an MVP, then I know Hurts can be an MVP. I mean, he has the same skill set that he has, but he just seemed to be a little more patient. He doesn't give you the turnovers. Again, the upside just seemed tremendously high. And I'm proud of the kid. I am proud of him. I mean, not this weekend, I'm not. I mean, so don't think that I'm saying that. I hope you guys beat it. No, it won't happen this weekend.
That's okay. That's okay. I see you flexing with that piece of metal right to your right, man. I appreciate.
Oh, they know. Hey, I want to jump. You want to?
Hey. You got decorated. You got decorated. You represent the EKU. You got the ring on. You got the trophy in the background.
Hey man, I am proud of every place that I've had the opportunity to play, man. I mean, playing with you, with EKU, and you know how we were at EKU, man. People don't realize when you have a group that enjoy each other.
Yeah, man.
For some reason you play well. I mean, and it doesn't seem like you're putting the work in. It's just because it's fun. And man, that's how it's always been everywhere that I played. I mean, it's just been fun. Now I must say, going to the Patriots was a little different because they never won. But man, going to New York with that system and Belichick and Parcells and just a great bunch of guys, man. And same thing at EKU.
Did you play with Irvin? Irvin Fry?
No, he left the year before and went to Miami. The year that I went.
Irvin's a good friend of mine.
Oh, yeah, good guy, man. The only time I ever got beat on a in and up was him. I mean, I jumped it. I mean, coach told me all week. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, Herman's. I mean, I don't know about Fryer. No, he's not going to do anything. Oh man, he schooled me.
Now, one thing, got to give a shout out to my boy Vince. I know he's watching, and I hope his wife is watching because she pulled this up right off the bat because she's a Giants fan. This is one of my friends from work. He's an Eagles fan. His wife is a Giants fan, right?
Wow, tough house.
But when I told him I was going to have you on the show, immediately she was like, "That's one of the first guys as a rookie to play for Parcells," and I was like, "Wow." I was like, that's pretty impressive. And Parcells, I talk about this all the time. Parcells, Jimmy Johnson, Belichick, Schottenheimer, that class of coach doesn't exist anymore. And to me, those guys were the guys that were they would make you run through the wall for them, but they were not afraid to let you know, like, listen, you're not getting it done right now, so I'm gonna have to sit you down. I might have to cut you, put you on waivers to bring in somebody else. They were not afraid to make those hard decisions. And and being with Parcells, because I remember what year was that when y'all won in 19?
It was 1990. The Super Bowl was in 91, but it's the 1990-91 season.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I remember we were watching the Super Bowl in the dorm, and we was all pulling for the Giants, obviously because of you, but me being part of my formative years I lived in St. Louis, so I was pulling for O.J. Anderson. O.J. Anderson was my dude, man. I had an O.J. poster when I was a kid living in St. Louis, so I was like, you bringing the old vet up here, and he bringing the wood like that, like I'm definitely pulling for him, man. So,
and when you say bringing the wood, hey, that was the first guy that hit during training camp. Yeah. Oh my God. Hey, I remember Parcells at training camp, our rookie season. OJ came through the line and everybody, two-hand tagged him, and I'm thinking, okay, so I two-hand tagged him. Parcells stopped practice. And he's like, hey, what the blank you think you're doing, rookie? I want to see you hit him. This is not EKU, St. Mary the Blind, TCT. He was just dogging me. Run it again. And man, they ran the same play. And I remember I tagged him again because, man, he's a specimen, man. Hey, OJ he's a big boy.
Yeah.
And it takes a man to have the nerve to sit there and tackle him heads up. And I wasn't quite there yet.
Nah, that's a mental game, man. That's a mental game. I remember we went up to New York because at the time I played for Kotite. Kotite had just come down from the Jets. So we went up to the Jets to scrimmage, stayed up there for a week, scrimmaged them and all that kind of stuff. And at that time, Ronnie Lott was with the Jets. And I remember we was doing the team drill and I got to the second level and I see Ronnie Lott and man, my heart skipped a beat, bro. And I'm thinking he was going to light me up, but he went past and, he got close enough where the shoulder pads touched and he kept moving. But, man, my heart dropped on that, man.
But imagine today, man, and people ask me all the time about today's game. Hey, do you think you can play? Would you, enjoy playing today? And I say, I don't even know if a player like myself, would even make a team today because, I was a physical presence. The job was making receivers fear me.
Yeah.
When they look back, they're going to look back and say, well, it's 29. Where now, if you take that out of the game, I can't be as physical, as my game was, then it'd be tough for a guy like me to have a presence back there. I would have to be fast like you. I was slow as dirt. So, I'd be in trouble.
Man, it's changed so much, man. But to that end, I also, because, I played with Wes Hopkins, who was a headhunter, but I played with Andre Waters, same way. But the flip side of that is both of them ain't with us no more. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way it goes. I agree with you, man. We, especially after everything that happened, I'm sure you saw everything with DeMar Hamlin and everything like that, man.
Oh, yes.
It does make you step back and it does make you appreciate, because sometimes, you look back, do I wish my career could have been better, longer, different things like that? Absolutely. Then you kind of see the silver lining, like, well, there's a price to be paid in a situation like that. You know what I mean?
I've been through some issues,
Yeah.
And I played with Dave Dorshin. He's no longer with us as well.
Yeah.
And I've been diagnosed with post-concussion syndrome. I've been diagnosed with Parkinson's. I've been suicidal years ago, but I had good people around me. Man, I had a
Right.
great support team, and that's what it takes to come out of something like that. But man, half the fear was these guys that had passed away around that same time that played the game similar to the way I played the game.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, man, this doesn't look good. But again, you got to talk to people,
Right.
and I tell my buddies now, I said, man, if you don't hear from one of your guys that you normally talk to all the time, if you don't hear from him for a while, call them. Because
Right.
obviously there must be something going on, in their lives. But, and like you say, so I take my hats off to a lot of the changes that they've made. I understand why they've made these changes. And I try to explain
Absolutely.
this to people. Man, the body just can't take, what we were given, especially nowadays, because these guys train year round. I mean, we thought that we were specimens. These guys are specimens now, man. I mean, they're faster, stronger, bigger, and can you imagine if the game was like it was back then? I mean, it would really, it'd possibly be bad. I mean,
yeah, man. Like I look at you, I look at like people like Ryan Clark, Troy Polamalu. You go back a little bit further, even like Ronnie Lott. What's the boy that from Denver? Steve Atwater. Those type of presences, they just those type of players don't exist anymore. On top of all of the rules they got for the quarterbacks, all that kind of stuff, man. It's just, 2-hand tag. You throw the quarterback down too hard, they throw a penalty on you and all that kind of stuff, man. And now it seems like it's funny because every time I get on this rant, man, like now I'm like the old get off my lawn guy. I'm the old head dude, like seeing this stuff. Yeah, you that guy, man. And it's like when did that transition happen, man? But when you see what's going on and how they practice in the preseason, I still to this day I will tell a story. My first year down in Eastern Kentucky, we had 2-a-days. The first day was 98. The second day was 100. The third day was 103, and it went to like 105 and 107. And we were full practice, full go, twice a day. That's just how we did it.
But that's the way it was. I mean, like you just said, that's the way it was. I mean, and for some reason, it seemed like when training camp started is when the temperature was turned up. I mean, like you said, it'd be 90, 3 weeks in a row, and all of a sudden training camp starting to 100 degrees. But that's the way it was. I mean, we planned for it, we trained for it, we were used to it, we expected it.
Yeah.
But I went up to New York a couple of years ago. And I'm expecting training camp, and these guys are in a hotel, and I'm like, hold up. I mean, when are they going to training camp? They're like, no, they are at training camp.
This is training camp.
I mean, it's offense is on the field and defense is working out. I'm like, hold up. I mean, they're not going to practice together. I mean, it's just different structure, man. It's different. It's different.
It's a whole
different. A lot of guys get caught up on the money too. They're like, well, but they pay these guys all this money.
Yeah.
And I try to explain that to them, man. It's a bargaining agreement. It's about percentages. I mean, just think now, if the players are not getting it, then the owner's getting it.
Exactly.
The players are the one playing the game. So don't you think the players, do part of the revenue? But it's a business, and these guys, I understand it is a business, and they're trying to prepare themselves for after football. I do get caught up sometime where, I want to see some football though. Y'all keep the business aside. Let's see some football. I mean, exactly. I like football when they come on, forget all the commercials, all this other stuff. Let's see some football.
Let's ball, man. And it seems like it's funny to me now. Like if back in the day, if you had an issue, right, you settled it on the field, or if something happened, you went to Roy's office, you talked to him, or you talked to Ison, or you talk to Tanera, you talk to somebody, or Blankenship, you talk to somebody on the field, in the locker room, right there. Now, this modern era of athletes, I'm mad at you, so I'm going to scrub everything off my Twitter page and stuff like that, man. And it's like, it's to the point now where they don't even communicate. And you can tell, prime example, you look at what Brian Daboll is doing up there, you can tell they are together. They talk to each other. All of those guys got a good relationship. Very similar to how we are down here in Philly. They're very similar teams. Just with the relationships. They got a good balance of relationships on those teams. You got hotheads and you got quiet ones and you got everything in between, and you got the right people at the right spots to keep that balance going.
But just think, Marcus, off the field, we were together.
Yeah.
I mean,
right
we
up in
hung out
OD.
together. Right. We were together. And just like you said, these guys now, I was talking to a coach from the Giants, and he said the difference between when you guys played and today is when when practice is over with, everybody's jumping in their cars and going their own way. Well, you guys would leave your car and you all ride together and still be going out somewhere together as a group together. They don't spend that time together, like you said, off the field, where we spent together off the field. So I think that's something that they're missing out on, man. I mean, I really loved the camaraderie. That's what I missed the most. I mean, I don't miss a lot of the other stuff. I do miss the fellas, man. When we get back together, we go to the Giants do a real good job of bringing us up every year.
Yeah.
And man, we get up there, man, we're like a bunch of kids though, man. I mean, we're so happy to see each other, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Dude, and that's the same thing you hear from everybody. Everybody says the same thing. What do you miss the most? The dudes in the locker room, period. That's the funnest thing. Jeffrey Lurie does a real good job with the alumni events up here. And when we won the Super Bowl in 17, all of the alumni, they bussed us to the art museum. So we waited for the parade to come to us at the art museum. So you got about 70 something, probably about 60, 70 alumni in the art museum, all in one big room. And what do you think we did? We all chopping it up, cracking jokes, all that kind of stuff, man. And to your point, you just miss that camaraderie, miss being around your boys, miss walking on that first floor of O'Donnell Hall. Everybody's door is open. You got Tupac playing in this room. You got Leonard Skinner over here. You got Metallica down here. Every door is open, playing Nintendo, Madden, whatever. Yep. And everybody would walk in everybody's room, say what's up, parents coming in, all of that kind of stuff, man. We was a family, and them days it's different now, man. It is different.
It's different. Plus, we didn't have social media, man. I'm glad we didn't have social media.
Absolutely.
I mean, because I think it just takes away from the experience, Now, it does bring a level that you can market yourself, things of that nature, financial wise. But I just think as far as just the experience itself, it takes away from that. And wherever you go now, you got to be careful that somebody's filming you with their phone. I mean, we didn't have that. I thank God that we didn't have stuff like that we were able just to be ourselves and not have to worry about somebody else trying to control the narrative. It got to be tough for these young guys.
It was hard enough when Madden was introduced, when we were in school. That was I never forget, man, when I was in my room, me and you remember James Henry?
Yeah, I do.
You call him Junebug. Me and Bug was in the room playing Madden, and I'll never forget this. He looked at me, he said, man, do you imagine if you could be in your room and I could be in my room and we could play against each other? Like, man, I would never go to class. Lo and behold, a couple years later, you got internet, online, all of that, all of those distractions, man. And that's, to your point, that's one of the things that kept us together, because there were no distractions like that. If you wanted a distraction, you either had to walk to it, or you met up with you had to go somewhere, and you actually had to get out and actually do something. And this era, man, is different.
Yeah, I remember when the internet was out, and and Parcells, that's one of the things that he's really good at. He's really good at controlling your time.
Right.
He kept us busy. I mean, if we fly to Dallas, and you know how it is, you get there on a Saturday, you walk through all that stuff. When you're done, you have your free time. Some kind of way, you didn't have as much free time as you thought you were going to have. He would always do something to cut that free time where you're not leaving the hotel, right. Which was smart of him, because he figured, hey, I got to keep these guys out of trouble and keep them focused. So what's the best way to do that? Keep them at the hotel.
Keep them at the
night
hotel.
Before games at home. You got to stay at the hotel the night before games at home. Yeah. Where it was just really good at that. And I think Belichick got away with that for many years. I think now it's tougher for him to try to implement things like that, just because, things have changed. It's a different age now. You've got to try to be more creative. But it's hard to trick these guys. These guys are smart now. I mean,
yeah, man, because you can get in just as much trouble in the rooms where you don't have to go nowhere to get in trouble no more.
That's
so
true.
There's a whole nother set of circumstances that we never had to deal with. I mean, it's funny, me doing some of the stuff that I do with graphics and gaming and all of that kind of stuff. And I learned computers before Windows 95 existed. So everything was DOS and basic, and you had to get your hands on it, all of that kind of stuff, man. And that is a lost art, just getting out and doing stuff. And that does translate into the sports that we play on the field, how people interact with each other, how people communicate with each other on and off the field, man. So it's a different breed going on right now, man. And you see it, but the coaches that are successful, Sirianni, Dayball, Andy Reid, and you see what Doug Peterson is doing down in Jacksonville. Those are those type of coaches that get involved, stay in your face. You know, they're not screaming and yelling, but they're in your presence. So, and just being in a, you know, that example that we had, Coach T, Coach Kidd, Coach Ison, they were always a presence, and you really didn't want to let them down because you ain't want that look. You know what I mean? Especially from Coach Ison. He wasn't playing.
All right, they didn't have to say anything. I tell people, I say, man, you know, I say, you mess up out in the field, and I say the longest walk is back to the sideline. You know, you're like, oh, God, I got to go back to the sideline. You know, there's coach over there, Coach Ison, you know, and he's waiting on me. I mean, I can see he's like, you know, come on over, kid. Don't use to wait. Why are you waiting? You might well just come on over here, you know, or Belichick, you know. And I can tell you, with Belichick, it was no fun, you know, because first of all, he keeps things so simple. And you spend so much time on every little thing. I mean, things that a lot of people probably didn't even go over. We went over 3 or 4 times. You know, my motto, I tell people say, oh, practice makes perfect. I said, no. Perfect practice makes perfect. Right. Because his thing was, if you don't do it at practice, you don't get it right at practice, why in the heck you think I'm going to put you in a game? Right. I mean, I got to see you do it at practice. So therefore, I know you can do it in a game. You know, I mean, you can't tell me you can do it. I want to see you do it. And you know, I'm telling you, but I love those guys, all the guys that you mentioned. You know, I like the discipline that they installed in me. I love the relationship that we had. And like I say, even today, going back to the Giants, it's a family. You know, it's always felt like a family. It still feels like a family. They treat my kids and my wife the same way that they treat me. And they do a good job of interacting the legends with the current players. I mean, you know, we go back, you know, we sit down this time that we actually interact with the current guys. So they'll know, you know, who played there previously in the history. You know, because you want to know what you're playing for. I mean, you're not just playing for you. You're playing for, you know,
absolutely
all these fans out there.
Yeah,
right. I mean, there's a lot of history. There's history, man. And, you know, but so you got to know what you're going against. But it's fun. Just like this game here coming up, man, with the Eagles and Giants. You know, my buddy Jesse Small, you know, we played at EKU together. We came from the same high school, linebacker. He got drafted by the Eagles. I was drafted by the Giants. And the rivalry was so big between the Eagles and the Giants, man, that Jesse and I didn't talk for about 10 years. I'm telling you, man, I'm tired. Hey, I mean,
I believe it.
Hey, you guys rough down there, man. Yeah, y'all rough down the road, man. I'm the 45-minute drive is
here's the funny thing, and because kind of going back to the media thing and everything available. You look at the media. The media will tell you it's us and the Cowboys, and it's like, no, it's up the street with the Giants. That's the turnpike, man. It's the New Jersey Turnpike going up the road, and we get it in. And you know, from Vi, you know, boxing on the goalpost, all from Randall avoiding that Pepper Johnson tackle, all of that kind of stuff, man. You just it's a different
fans,
level,
though, man. Your fans are brutal, man. Your fans are so brutal. That's the only game I asked my wife. I said, please, baby, do not go to this game.
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't. I mean, that's how bad it is. I mean, you go there with a Giants jersey on if you want to. I mean, no, baby, please do not go to Philly Stadium with a Giants. So let's bypass this. We'll catch the next one. You know,
it's a little bit better now because I think a lot of that changed a little bit when we got the stadium. When they shut down
Hold
the
on.
vet.
Do you guys still have a jail in this new stadium? Is there a jailhouse?
Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. That was but I remember that because didn't the NFL, I think they changed the rule where they stopped selling alcohol after a certain time because of that.
Right, because
admittedly it was bad at the vet. Vet was bad. That was not fun. That was not a fun place to play.
But you know what? I love playing there though. I love when I come on. I'm telling pregame. I couldn't wait to get out for pregame warm up because I knew they're gonna be rowdy, body, and I'm gonna get pumped up. Hey, we're gonna be off the chain, and that's what I need. I say, hey, I'm going out pregame. Y'all talk y'all noise. Tell me how many times Chris Carter gonna run over me. He's gonna catch 2 touchdowns on me. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, baby. You know, and then we're gonna go to game time and let's see what you say after the game.
Hey, Jesse, just to beat us most of the time. Jesse, if you want to jump in, bro, click on that link. I'll get you in. But listen, man, the vet. When we played at the vet, I just remember that turf was so bad. Getting in the shower after the game, I would be stinging because I would have all of these rug burns that I didn't see before, and it was horrible. It was absolutely
and then the infield, man. You guys had the baseball infield, and I used to always be worried about tripping over that junk, man. I'm like, I'm gonna trip over this junk.
We had the one touchdown. I forget who it was, but it was somebody blew the kneecap on that thing right over.
But Green Bay helped change the route. Man, Green Bay was like, we're not playing here. I mean, it was bad, man. It should have been changed before I even got to the Giants. And I mean, it was bad. It is bad if you say it's bad. I mean,
it was tough, man. It was tough because it wasn't. And even the technology for artificial turf is different now. You know what I mean? At least the soft, you got the rubber beads underneath, and at least they trying. Nothing is better than grass, but some of the stuff that we had to deal with back then, man. I remember playing at Candlestick, and there was a grass field, so you run in the middle of the field, you literally running over second base in dirt and all of that kind of stuff, man. And it's crazy, man.
Now I can tell you the best field I played on. I love going to the Redskins. Man, Washington. Well, they're the Commanders now, but I loved there, man. The grass, it just felt so good. It was like playing on carpet. I mean, it was so soft, and man, I love going there. Man, Washington, I love their stadium. I love playing in that stadium.
We got another one of the brothers, man. Tim Wembley, Big Bear. What's going on, brother? Good to see you in the chat, bro. EKU representing.
I know. I got a chance to holler at Tim at homecoming, man.
Yeah,
good time. Yeah, had a good time. Again, that camaraderie, man. It's like we had never left. So
it's like you don't skip a beat, man. You don't skip a beat. But let's get down to some business, man. How's it? What are you thinking for this game this weekend? What have you seen?
Well, I like for us, the Giants. I like that we're healthy. We're getting healthy, and I love the way that this offense is coming together. We brought something extra to the game now that you can see that Jones is a lot more mobile than maybe a lot of people even thought he was. And we know the trouble that you can cause when you have a quarterback that's mobile.
We know that very well.
And that's a dimension I think that, we're going to use this weekend. I really think that he's going to have some, a couple plays set up, for him to win the down on just with his feet. And I'm looking forward to it. And our defense, they're just well coached. It's a well-coached team. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen it's a well-coached team, man. I mean, you look at the team and you say, this name is superstars. It's not the superstars, it's the way they play as a team. I mean, these guys just seem to love being around each other. Like you said earlier, you and I were talking about, and that's a good thing. And I think that's going to cause trouble for you guys. And plus, you guys, hopefully you guys are thinking about that last game. I mean, we didn't play all our starters now. I mean,
we didn't even play.
Yeah.
We ran a vanilla offense, and you could absolutely tell that they told Jalen don't run. They told if you got to run, get out. But
that's smart. That was even taking a chance.
Absolutely.
So you think he's ready? You think he's fully healed?
I think he's about 85, 90%. I think he's good enough to play. But But you're crazy if you think that they are not going to test that shoulder.
That's the first thing. You think they
That's the
haven't talked
first
about
thing.
this in practice?
So I was on another show earlier today, and they was asking us like, what do you think should be the first play? Should they just throw the bomb the first play? I was like, no, set it up. I was like, they either give the ball to Miles Sanders or Jalen should run an RPO right off the bat. If he can run, let him know right off the bat. Y'all gonna have to work for this. And if he shakes and bakes or whatever he does, but let him know, then you set up a long pass or a play action or something like that. But my thing is like, you got to let him know right off the bat. There is no hesitation with me right now. I am not hurt. I can do the things that got me to the MVP level. I can do that right now. So you better be on point. But to your point, man, the defense is playing well. Y'all switched up though. It was about week 14 after we beat y'all that first game. You shifted up a little bit. The coverage was different. You started playing with more DBs back there, more like a cover one, a little bit more. And it started being effective. And like I always look at stuff like that. The buzzword this week was everybody making adjustments. What kind of adjustments you make? And it's like, whatever they're doing, they probably could have done that earlier. And I always ask the question, why didn't they do it? Why do you make this person?
It's all about timing, you know, and I think with some of the players being injured early, I mean, you know, we had one of our safeties out, he was hurt. I mean, we had some key guys that were injured that kind of forced us to play some of the younger guys. And I think once you got a chance to see these guys, you're saying, hey, you know, hey, this guy here, he needs to be on the field. So you start to move things around to try to get your best players on the field. And you see a little different matchup. I mean, I look at when I started my rookie season, I started the first game, but at nickelback. But at nickelback, it put me in position to show that, I mean, I played some man one-on-one coverage. Mm-hmm. And the next game I was starter. So I think they saw something in that game when I was at nickelback and say, hey, you know, this guy here, you know, I think he could be better as a starting safety. And I think once they saw some of these guys on for some of these injuries, I think they saw just, you know, some adjustments. And plus, the team is still, I mean, it's only his first year. I mean, making these adjustments, you know, you know how the second half of the season is. What you see the first half of the season is different the second half of the season.
Right. You got tape on everybody. You know what everybody's capable of. You know what they are capable of and what they are not good at. That's the biggest thing. So you got to take it for what it's worth. And you got to have, because every team doesn't have this, you got to have the right coaches that can pull the trigger and say, hey, I know you're probably getting paid a lot more money, but you ain't getting it done. You know, look at what they did in New York with Zach Wilson. I ain't never seen that before.
Wow.
But because I'm like, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but a situation like that, like he had to do something drastic to be the number 2 pick in the draft for your team and was playing like a rookie. But for him to get snatched like that, he must have said something straight foul or did something foul. And when I've never seen a player, especially at the quarterback position, where your whole team just flipped on you like that. I've never.
Well, you don't remember he made the comment. They were asking him at the podium, you know, so, you know, do you think that you could have done something a little better to help the defense out? You know, and he was like, no. I mean, he just left the defense out there by himself, you know, like, no. And as you know, how it is offense and defense. I mean, we're a team, but we still, I mean, defense, I mean, we're 2 teams also. Right. And you're not going to knock us, you know. I mean, either you say, yeah, I could have helped them out and, you know, we take this loss together, but don't sit there and say, no, I couldn't help you out. Basically, you know, hey, they are what they are. I mean, and I think that's when I first saw it start.
Well, I saw that, but I was under the impression like, okay, yeah, you probably shouldn't have said that. So my thing was like, all right, there's got to be a veteran in there that's going to pull him to the side and be like, yo, there's always a guy, you know, for us at the time, it was either Seth Joyner or Clyde Simmons those were the leaders on our defense. And those are the ones that had that look we were talking about to pull him to the side. And it had to be a veteran to pull that kid to the side. And for them to flip on him like that, and just like for them to shut him down, I've never seen that before.
I mean, they shut him down. I mean, it's almost like when the backup started, they were cheering for him. I'm like, man, I mean, they really, everybody's supporting him. I mean, but you're right, and, you also think about the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Because you got to still have control of your team to not even let it get to that point.
Right.
Because I look at Denver and just the way they imploded. I mean, you could just, but when the season first started with them, just some of the play calling and some of the decisions, it's almost like, he was afraid to make decisions. And you're like, oh man, this is not gonna last. I'm gonna go down swinging. I'm gonna go down my way.
Right.
And you're right. You got to have confidence in what you do, and the players got to know and feel that hey, from the top, he's got that confidence, so we're going to support him. But you're right, man. Something definitely happened over there. But I do like what we're doing. I'm telling you, I feel that we've had a great schedule for this playoffs for us. I mean, Minnesota, I felt like that fit us very well. I mean, I picked us to beat Minnesota because I feel like our defense just was better than their defense, and you're not going to spot us, like you've been doing and come back in the playoffs. It's just not going to happen. It's the playoffs. I mean, it doesn't work that way. A little different in the playoffs. You got to be able to turn up a notch in the playoffs.
Absolutely. And then you got Kirk Cousins that does what Kirk Cousins does. And
yep.
And also my friend Vince, his wife Gina said, y'all finally got an offensive line.
Oh, I know. We've been going through that, man, for so long. Hey, I mean, it's been ugly. Believe me, I'm not going to even talk about our O-line. I mean, it's been just going up as a legend. I mean, it's been bad. It's been bad. Yeah. But we actually, again, we got coaches, man. It's like the coaches have done a really good job of weeding out, the issues and working with the talent. They've done a good job. And I mean, because you look at Jones, I mean, I won't say that last year that I thought he would have had the season that he's having now. I mean, all of a sudden he's playing very well. I mean, the way he's placing the ball, his feet, runs. I mean, it just seemed to be at the right time. We seem to be gelling. And they always say that at playoff time. When it comes playoff time, you got to be able to turn it up a notch. And it just seemed like we're able to turn it up right now. And I'm hoping you guys understand that, because I'm telling you, when we come down there, we're not going to be that team y'all played at the end of the season.
And here's
not
my
be that
fear.
same team.
Here's my fear, because I believe, in my opinion, the Eagles are clearly the better team. However, to your point about the coaching, our coaches make some decisions sometimes, and you scratch your head. Like I've been saying this a lot, and I know I'm beating a dead horse, but when Jalen Hurts got hurt in Chicago, it was 20 degrees, and we came out throwing, and he ran 17 RPOs in 20-degree weather with the wind. Why would you do that? You hand the ball off and get your ground game going. Because I will say, arguably, we've got the best offensive line in football, right? But for some reason, we don't want to run the ball to establish the dominance on the line of scrimmage and just pound it, because I believe our offensive line is that good, but they don't do it. They got this thing in their heads that they want to throw the ball everywhere, even with somebody like Jalen Hurts. Why would you start a game and go almost 16, 18 passes before you hand the ball off? Doesn't make sense.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. And especially, and we know the NFC East, you got to be able to pound the ball. I mean, that's what it's always been known for. That's what has always been established. You're going to be physical. We're going to bring it to you. We're going to establish a run. And from that, we're going to do everything else that we want to do. And I agree with you. You guys, the first half of the season, I mean, I'm telling you, I thought it was going to be a cakewalk for you guys. I mean, man, they look so good. I mean,
we had it going, man.
Well, part of the game,
the Washington game, we gave that game away. We were going to win that game, and we fumbled it away. We had a bad call. Dallas Goedert had a horrible face mask that they just missed the call that caused the fumble. They get the ball and they score. And then we're driving to take the lead again, and Quez Watkins will probably score, and he fumbles the ball. So we gave that game away. The Dallas game, we had our opportunities, but you can't win when you turn the ball over 4 times. But even with that, we still had an opportunity to win. So,
but the game that I felt like that made me think you guys were beatable was the game you had Indianapolis.
Yeah,
you guys played the Colts. That game, look, they're vulnerable. Maybe they're not as good as I'm thinking they are. I mean, they do have some weaknesses. I mean, I'm telling that game. I saw that game and I was like, you know what? They can be beat. Because at one time I'm thinking that you guys could only beat yourselves. I mean, because I'm telling you that, and I agree with you. I think you guys have better talent than us. I mean, if you look at each position.
But
what I like is just the way we play as a group. I mean, we don't. I mean, we bend, but we don't break. I mean, and we get hit, but we come right back. We get up and we come right back and stay together as a team.
But look at that. Look at that Colts game. We won that game in the fourth quarter, and because Jalen Hurts took over that game. Jalen Hurts started audibling on the line and going with what he saw was best. That's when he took over. He put the team on his back, and he won that game. To me, it seemed like we abandoned the run. We start doing stuff that everybody and their mama can look at it and say, "Why? Like, why are we running that?
Right? Why are you doing? That's what I said.
Why are we doing
that?
Why are
they doing that?"
And those are the things that are frustrating to me. So, and I've said it before, we match up with everybody, but my concern is we're going to get to a point in these playoffs where we're going to get out-coached. That's what I'm worried about. And right now, the way Dayball has got them boys up north playing, momentum is real, and everybody's in tune. So it'll be interesting to see. We got the week off. We got the bye. We got people healthy too. Garner Johnson is back. Lane Johnson is back. So we got some key players. But I think the key for the Eagles is going to be our tight end, Dallas Goedert. Because the way you guys are playing you guys play that defense kind of like we do. And your short to middle can be exposed because we've been getting killed on that all year long. So I don't know how they're gonna come out and play it. All I know is if Josiah Scott is playing, the Giants would be stupid not to go after him because he's been up and down and he's played better. But you know how you get them people that they're getting there, but they're just not quite ready yet.
Right.
He's one of those types of players. So I think he'll be good. He'll be much better player next year. But right now, Dallas killed him. So you know how it is. Everybody looks at the same tape. Everybody's going to see the same thing. So if you see a weakness, you're supposed to exploit it. You run it until they show you that they can stop it. And for some reason, we don't do that.
Yeah. And I'm hoping, that game that we've had an opportunity to play helps us, help put us in that we're already in playoff mode.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that you guys are a little rusty because you've been off. I mean, and if that's the case, then I feel like, we should be able to take advantage of that early on. But if it's a close game and the ball's in Jalen's hand, I'll be a little concerned. I mean, because I think he's a baller. I mean, I like him, man. I like him, man. I love when the ball's in his hand. I think he made really good decisions. Like you said, if you allow him to make the decisions, he made really good decisions. But I think it's going to be a good game, though. If anybody think that this is going to be a game where somebody go in and somebody's going to get blown out, I don't think it's going to be that type of game. I think it's going to be, it's going to be a close game. I think that it's probably a little more points than people expect. Because I think today's football, you should score points. I mean, if you're not scoring points in today's football, something's wrong.
Right.
It's built for the offense now.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, you can't jam the receivers like you like to jam the receivers like you used to. And you guys got some good receivers, man. I mean, y'all got some of the best receivers I would say in the league. I'd put those guys up against anybody.
We got a triple threat, man. AJ Brown. This city went nuts when they announced that trade.
Where did he come from?
Tennessee.
Why did they let him go?
I don't know, but all I know is the GM that traded him got fired.
They should have fired him. That was the dumbest decision. I said, and I kept saying, why did they let this kid? Why did they let him go? Did he do something?
He didn't want to go. Did you see the video of what happened on draft day?
No.
When what's the coach name? Is it Vrabel? Yeah, Vrabel was they was in the war room, and you can tell that the GM or whoever it was whispered something to him, and he kind of looked at him like, "What?" And then when they announced the trade, he had to get up and walk away. He had to walk it off because he was like, you could tell he did not want to do
I would have been pissed too. This is a baller. Yeah. I mean, you know, and he's been great for you guys, you know, especially the young receiver there. I mean, it's been
and it couldn't fall to a better spot because I didn't realize until, you know, you find out after the fact. I didn't know at the time that him and Jalen were such close friends. That goes back to the relationship thing we were talking about. So it you know, it all fell in our favor. And then Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper, he was that top pick last year, and just to get that compliment, you know, and Dallas Goedert has been good. We've had some good luck with tight ends. So that triple threat, I think out of all of them, I just think Dallas Goedert is going to be the one to have a big game because I don't think y'all linebackers can hang with him. He's big. He's got great speed, and the boy's got good hands. The only problem is sometimes his blocking is not great, but we got him to catch passes, not to block.
It's gonna be a good game, man. I'm telling you, I'm excited. I mean, it's been a while since I've been this excited about a football game. I mean, you know, and I love that the NFC East. I mean, Dallas is out in San Fran.
San Fran is wicked.
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, they are. But I don't think San Fran has played a Dallas yet. This young kid, he's played some games, but I think he's in for a treat. I mean, Dallas got a couple on that defense that can ball. I mean, they got some playmakers. They got Dallas some changes on their defense, and I think
Dallas has some ballers. But
I mean, and I've never seen this kid really go deep. He's that West Coast offense, you know, the short passes here. Let's see what he's about this week. I mean,
but
the ears been back. Here's
the thing with San Francisco. Here's the thing with San Francisco. They got all world skill positions. You get Ayuk, Debo, Kittles, and CMC. You get all of those weapons on offense. All that kid's got to do is drop back and get the ball into the playmaker's hands. That's all he's got to do. I see your frat brother joining in, man. Randy Bowler, what's going on, Cap?
What's up, Bowler? Mr. Go Mob.
Oh, wow. I see you.
Hey, you talking about tough receivers now. Hey, I remember Randy came in. Randy was over there with us with the DBs, man, and I remember they moved him to wide receiver. He hated to go, man. He hated to go. He was like, man, I don't want to go wide receiver. I want to stay with you guys.
Man, like, all I remember was,
we need you.
Randy had daggone calves big as bowling balls, man.
I know.
Jump out the daggone gym.
Hey, I've never ever seen calf that big, nor has I've seen any calf that big since. I mean, oh my goodness.
Unless it was somebody on steroids.
Oh God. I'm telling you, instead of the forms like Popeye, he had the calves, man. I'm telling you, they were huge.
Good.
You're right.
Good grief.
Yeah, but man, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a game this week. Hey, I'm gonna have to give you a call up and say, hey, at halftime. And we're gonna go through and we're gonna critique that first half and see.
We can do that, man, because normally I'll do a Facebook Live at halftime and I'll give my thoughts and stuff like that. But if you want to connect after the game, we can jump back on here and connect after.
Yeah, let's do that, man. Let's do that. Talk about, you know, after we don't put that thing on y'all, I can sit and brag a little bit.
I don't know, man.
You laughing like I'm crazy. You
are crazy.
You don't think we got a chance to put that thing on y'all?
Man, listen.
You think y'all can just come in and we're gonna come down there, you know, y'all gonna roll, just run over us? I mean, we're gonna roll over. Come on, man. Listen,
it's not gonna be a blowout like it was that first meeting in week 14. But I got the Eagles winning 31-21. I think it's gonna be a tight game.
Oh, you gotta be
until the end. I think we're gonna get. It's gonna be
31 points on us.
I think it's gonna be a tight game. We're gonna go to 28, and then we're gonna get a turnover and take it to 31 and take it out of range. Yes.
I said it's gonna be 24-21. We're gonna win the game.
Well, that's where you're wrong.
We're gonna score. We're gonna win the game. I'm telling you. Hey,
We'll see.
We're gonna see what your defense is like. We're gonna see what your big boys are from. We're gonna see what Sue and all the boys up there. We're gonna see what they're Fletcher and all of them about. Let's see what they're really about.
Listen, here's the
run the
thing,
ball.
And I will say this because I've watched tape, and the one thing with our defense, if they come out with a good play action, because Dallas did this to us. Dallas ran a play action pass, and they would have Zeke going over the right tackle, and then the tight end would slip. He would go flat down the line of scrimmage and just drift out into nothing. And every time they ran that play, he was wide open, and we couldn't stop him. So our middle, that's why I'm saying the defense has changed up a little bit, but it's still kind of the same thing. Our short to middle. Look at when we played Green Bay. Green Bay killed us across the middle. And for some reason, we would not change up. Now, if we were to go up and play a little bit more man-to-man, that would eliminate all of that. But for some reason, they don't do it. They get stuck in their minds that this is what we're going to run and we're not going to change it. If we do that, if Gannon doesn't change up, or if Steichen does the same thing he's been doing, we might have a problem.
Yeah, I think you guys have a problem. I mean, and I was a little concerned earlier or late in the season, about our experience. And, I do they picked up Landon Collins, brought him back. I thought that was a good move. And I think that can go a long ways, with guys like that and games like this. I'm telling you, I just feel like we're in a good position. I think the pressure's on you all.
That's true.
You're the number one team in the NFC. I mean, you guys are expected to win. You're supposed to win.
All the pressure's on us.
The first 3 quarters of the season.
All the pressure's on us. But this is the perfect situation, because normally this is a they look at it like a negative, because whenever you hear scouts or people talking about players, specifically quarterbacks, when you start talking about a quarterback and you start talking about intangibles, that means you're looking for something to say because you don't believe he can play the position. But Jalen, I always say in this case, the intangibles came into play because I know without a shadow of a doubt, he heard everything they said about him after that Tampa Bay game last year. He heard that they said that he couldn't read defenses. He heard all of that stuff, and you probably didn't see it, but the press conference after we lost that game, his quote was, the next season starts tomorrow, and he got to work. So you bring that all the way up till now. Jalen is not the type of kid to get big-headed. He's very even-keeled. He keeps everybody. He's the guy you want steering the ship, and he's going to have everybody going in the right direction. However, again, my biggest concern is if we don't run the ball, we might have some issues. We got to run the ball just to keep it balanced. So we'll see, because I know he can throw, but we got to establish that line of scrimmage and let him know we're going to run on him. Keep Daniel Jones off the field.
Yeah. But, again, if you keep this game close, man, that's all we're going to try to do.
Yep.
Yeah, we want to do is,
to your point, that's what the Colts did. That's what the Colts did.
I'm telling you, we just wanted close going into the fourth quarter. If it's close going into the fourth quarter, we feel like we got some. And we know we got a running back that can break it. And run over you as he's breaking it. He's about some big legs.
he got them Elroy thighs, dog.
I know. And just as strong.
Yeah, man.
Everyone coming to weight room.
Is a beast.
I know it, man. Every time
we pretty much we held him in check, man. But he's never. I don't think he's had too many games where he just 150, 200 yards. He's like, you'll hold him and you contain him all game, and then bam, 40-yard run, bam, 50-yard run. Like, he comes in spurts, but when he gets you, he burns you bad. He burns you very bad, and he can catch. I was happy because I wanted to see the kid come back from that injury, and he did. We watched him up here because he was at Penn State and everything. Yeah, it was pretty bad, and it was just at the point to where they were going to have to start making them decisions. Are you going to keep him and all of that kind of stuff, man? And he came into camp this year, and he put it down. So,
and I'm glad they didn't trade him because there was all these rumors. Oh, you better get while the stock is heavy right now, you better get what you can get for him.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, man, just hang there with it, man. This guy here, I mean, just his values there just because he is explosive. And like you say, it's that one play. I mean, you might shut him down. He had 25 carries and, hadn't picked up anything longer than 10 yards. And boom, all of a sudden, 35, 40-yard run. I mean,
and that'll be the play to break your back.
Well, but that's going to be the play to break y'all's back.
I ain't say all that, man. You put words in my mouth.
Gonna be the play. That's going to be the play to break y'all right there. I'm telling you. I mean, we're going to run that ball at you, and Daniel's going to – I'm telling you, I just see it now. You guys going to fall for that Saquon. Y'all going to fall for that Saquon fake, and y'all going to be all up in the hole. I mean, they already going to be celebrating, thinking he's down, and y'all going to look, and Jones going to be in the end zone dancing,
Well, that's real.
Oh, man, I didn't even know he can dance.
That's going to be a situation where we got to pay attention to because we're going to get a little taste of our own medicine because Jones has been running the ball. If he doesn't see anything, he's taking off. And he didn't do that before. He's had some good runs, but he wasn't looking to run before, and that was a disservice to him. And now that light switch done clicked, so that's something else that we gotta take into consideration.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm telling you, I'm excited, man. I'm excited because I think that this game is gonna shock some people if they haven't been really following the Giants. I think guys have been following the Eagles. I don't think they've been following the Giants as a serious competitor. And I think they're going to see some things this game. They're going to say, man, they got a solid team. They got a very disciplined team. And they do, man. I mean, and good guys. I'm telling you, we go back, man. I remember being on the field when they were warming up, the Dallas game. We went up for the Dallas game. And just the way that, the safeties came over to say hello. I mean, hey, Guyton. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, just, again, and I hadn't seen that in a while going back to visit. It's almost like a little arrogance with the players where now, man, the guys seem to be level-headed. They seem to be focused on football. I like where they are. I mean, the coach has control of the team, and they feel like New York Giants. They're acting like Giants. They're a little cocky, but in the right way. Mm-hmm. And I love guys that are confident because you got a ball. I always tell people, give me the guys that are arrogant because they got a ball. If not, then you're gonna look like a fool. But you got to be confident in yourself.
You got to back it up.
You're not confident in your game. I don't want to be with you. I mean, I want you to be confident. Yeah, and I feel like they have that little edge. They're a little, just a little edge on them. Not to the point where they're disrespectful, but they're gonna be disrespectful to you guys.
No, they're gonna get disrespected.
They're gonna be disrespectful
because they're gonna come in the house and Philly gonna have a little something for them. But that's
you guys gonna ask them to leave, and we're gonna say, okay, we're gonna head back home after this win. We're gonna head on back home. Let's go back to all these other championship trophies.
We're gonna have it covered. We're gonna have it covered, and we take our next step to ring number 2.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna come up there where we are to look at it, but I mean, and that's what's sad. Not sad. That's what's funny. I really see a path for us winning the Super Bowl. I feel like that we are just that guy that nobody's respecting.
Come on, man. You're talking about the city that's born with underdogs, man. Underdogs is our thing.
But you guys, y'all know, I mean, you gotta, in order to be, that guy. Rocky did win. The big one. I mean, you guys, you won one, Peterson got y'all to the one, but we got to see more than that one before we feel like y'all like Rocky. Y'all not quite like Rocky yet. We cheer for Rocky because we knew he was going to pull it out some kind of way. He's going to pull it out. He's going to pull it out. Well, we're going to knock you guys in the face and y'all going to be on the ground. Y'all ain't getting up. We're going to
you got to get, man, to your point, you got to get more than one, and we gonna handle that this year. So right now, y'all are in the way. So once we, handle our business this weekend, y'all can scoot on back up the turnpike, pay them tolls, and do what you got to do. And we're going to keep it moving to the NFC Championship.
That's good that you're loyal to your fans, though. And, that's good, though, man. I mean, I understand that. I know it's tough. We're talking offset, and you can tell me the truth. I know, hey, man, I know, man, y'all tough. I know it. I'm telling you. Hey, I'm just happy that it's the NFC East. I'm telling you, the Beast is back in the East. And the
Beast is back, man.
I see that the East is being represented again because, man, they laughed at us last year. They're like, man, I'll tell you what, I don't know who's going to win the East. Everybody's terrible. I mean,
yo, like, Jesse said the Giants couldn't beat us even on Sega.
Dang, he went to Sega. Wow. Tecmo Bowl. He went Tecmo Bowl on me. Wow. I know that nobody on the show here. What's Tecmo Bowl?
Nah. Them days is too old. The NES. What was the one on? There was another one on NES before Sega came out. I think it was like I think it was a Joe Montana game. God, I can't remember what it was, man. But we going way back, bro.
I know we went too far back. You know, and Jesse Lucky's not on, and I want to thank you because you didn't bring him on, so therefore we can keep our friendship. I'm telling you, I was concerned. I was really concerned, man. I'm telling you, Jesse and I went through. I'm telling you, it was tough, man. It's tough, you know, being buddies with Eagles. I mean, you guys don't make it easy, you know. I got to give it to you. You beat us most of the time. That's the
there
thing.
You go. See, now the reality is setting in. Now the reality. Listen, I tell you what. Like I jumped in a couple of Giants Facebook groups just so I could promote this conversation. And of course, everybody's getting all, you know, bent out of shape. And somebody was like, "You got an Eagles jersey on. Why are you even in this group?" And I was like, I said, "I'm a player, so I got love everywhere." I said, "I hate the Giants." I said, "However," I said, "Myron Guyton I went to school with, Chad Brasky I went to school with, I played with Mark Bavaro. You know, I got guys on every team, man." And it goes back to that brotherhood we was talking about, man. We gonna talk our smack, but at the end of the day, man, we still friends, we still teammates, and that kind of stuff never goes away.
I know, but that's the fun of it, though, man. Just to talk the smack. I mean, but just think, it's like that. Ain't nothing changed either. EKU, offense and defense. We're gonna talk smack. I mean, hey, you're gonna talk about, I'm bringing it back. I'm coming back. You better get ready. I'm coming back.
Run it again. Run the goal line.
Run it again.
We go goal line. you gotta come with it again.
Hey.
Oh my God. Man. Well, listen, brother, I'm gonna get up out of here. We've had a good time, man. Listen, we're going to do that. I'm going to set it up so after the game, we can talk after the game, and we'll see what's what.
I know it's going to be what, but hey, I can't
no
wait. I'm excited.
All right,
excited.
Just remember, Dallas got it. That's all you got to remember. That's the problem right there.
24-21 Giants.
31-21 Eagles, man. Come on.
Man, you got to be crazy. You guys going to beat us.
I got to be crazy.
You're going to beat us by 10. What? There's no way you're going to beat 10 points.
All right. We'll see. I can break it down plainly because at the end of the day, scores don't matter. It either says W or it says L.
You guys might not score 7 points, anything more than 7 in the first half. Man. I'm telling you. I don't see you guys. I see you guys coming out really slow. I'm telling you, that's where I feel like we have an advantage on you guys. Man, I feel like that first quarter, we're going to take on the first quarter.
You've been sipping on that bad water down south or something, man.
No, that's not water,
Come on, man. And see, that's okay because you know what? At least you sipping it out of a green can.
I almost spit it out. I'm gonna be sick.
My God.
I'm gonna be sick, Marcus. I'm gonna be sick,
brother, man.
But hey, man, I'm telling you, hey, awesome talking with you, Marcus. Man,
I appreciate you, man. I love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
Listen, we will. One of the things I'm gonna do in the off season, right? I'm trying to get in touch with a lot more alumni all across the country, because this stuff like this. The digital stuff that comes easy to me, and I know it doesn't come easy to everybody. So I want to try to facilitate that stuff, man, so we can have conversations during the off season, man, and keep this stuff, keep the smack talking, keep the brotherhood, keep all that stuff going, man. Because to your point earlier, man, we need it, man. Makes it easier for us to check on each other, make sure everybody's good. Somebody knows somebody somewhere else. So if I can't get to you, I know somebody in your city, that sort of thing, man. So I'll be back in touch with you, man, and we will do this again. We will talk Saturday after the game. I don't think you're gonna really want to talk to me, but I will honor this request.
Talking to you, man.
And we'll get it done, brother. So I thank everybody in the chat. The chat was all fire tonight, and we will definitely do this again, brother. Again, I love you, man, and I appreciate you. Props and representing EKU to the fullest. The cabin on the hill will always be there. And you guys have a good night, man. Thanks for joining me. I'll talk to you later, guys.